welcome back. I'm Keith Reynolds, host of Morning Coffee. For you guys that were following us this morning, I got to tell you, the chocolate covered cherry cookies were awesome. Shakira Turner, I'm not kidding you guys. I know a lot of people cook a lot of different things, but you can't cook. Like, you got to have love to it, and she definitely has it. So make sure you reach out to her. She's in Williamstown, but I just got to say that every time she comes in here, it's just I got to stop eating them. My belly's getting too big, and Mark's tooth's hurting him. That's why he's not here today. So, but moving on with morning coffee this morning. I want to talk about. I honestly, I think the insurance world is a very interesting and dynamic world. So today we brought on Greg Austin from Benefit Consulting Group. Greg, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, Greg, I mean, you know what? I even tried to get into the insurance business a little and try to go get my test because I find it fascinating. I find it really kind of makes our world go around. How in the world did you get involved in it?
Well, it started like this. I actually was working in the school district.
Okay.
I was working special ed for 10 years, and some things happened, and I decided it was time to move on and do something different. And a friend called me up and said, "I heard you're not working." I said, "No, I'm not." And he said, "Well, what are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm thinking about." Actually, I didn't know what I was going to do. I was 56 years old, and I didn't want to answer questions like, "Well, why are you leaving the job now? You're so close to retirement." I didn't want to answer those questions. I just felt it was time to do something else. And he said, "Well, I have a spot for you if you'd like to sell insurance again." Yeah, I had worked at it back in the 80s, and my wife got sick, so I had to make some changes in my world. My wife has bipolar disorder, so we had to do some things different.
Mm-hmm.
And the main thing was this: I've always liked helping people,
Right.
so that's why I worked in special ed. But some things happened. I said, "Well, it's time to move on." The rules with that, we don't want to even get into that. The rules are really crazy with that. And when he offered me the opportunity to work with him, I said, "Hey, it's a chance to help people again."
Right.
Now, just in case, like for instance, we group benefits. We're going to get into that later. I know we do group benefits. We also do Medicare. But one of the stories I love to tell is getting into this business and learning about Medicare. My parents my dad was retiring from his job. He worked for the public defender's office. He was 80 years old.
Mm.
He retired, and they were going to give him his benefits for 1 year. They were going to pay for it. After that, he had to pay for it for him and my mother. So he looked at it. The package was $950 a month for the two of them.
$950.
Yes.
Yikes.
So me being in Medicare, knowing Medicare, I took him to the Medicare website. I got him a Medicare supplement for him and my mother, and they pay $425 a month. I'm not sure about your household,
Right.
but where I come from, an extra $400 a month is not a bad deal.
Absolutely.
Especially for a better plan.
Right.
It's not a bad deal.
It's a great deal.
So,
it's a great deal.
Can I tell you my parents were happy?
Yeah.
Can I say that?
Yeah. They're very
Actually,
happy.
they were more than happy.
They're more than happy, I'm sure.
It really
Say,
did.
now I know I raised a good son. So,
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So so you've been doing this for a while now.
It's 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about the transition from going from one entity or industry to another. How was that for you?
Well, again, because we're helping people. Now, years ago, I went to the Wharton School.
Okay.
And one of the things they taught us at the Wharton School is knowing what industry you're in.
That's great. That's great.
Now, for instance, at one point in the 1800s, the best way to go mass transportation was by train. If you wanted to go across country, you took a train.
Mm-hmm.
When automobiles came along, why didn't train companies become automobile companies?
Good question.
They had engines. They had steel for making bodies. They had carriages. They had chairs. They had everything. The only thing they didn't have was a rubber contract. Because they thought they were in the railroad business. They didn't know they were in the transportation business.
Nice.
They
That's
didn't know
good.
that. Me, I love people. So when I was working with special ed, I loved it. I love working with people. Now I'm helping just a different demographic. I'm still helping people.
Right.
I'm helping small businesses get their situation straight. I'm helping elderly who are aging in Medicare get their situation straight. I'm still helping people because I'm a people person.
You know what? It's funny you said that because I think when I started my business, people said, you're really managing people now. You know what I mean? You're not in the broadcast business. And at the end of the day, when I left that portion of it, that's what I do, manage people during the day. So,
Well, how about this? The broadcast business. Who do you broadcast to? Goats?
no, people. So you're in the people business. I love helping people too. So
There you go.
it's definitely a good thing to do. I believe in that goodwill, the
Right.
goodwill feeling. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, I'm going to really dive in to what Greg does, every day helping people. So we're going to take a quick commercial break in 60 seconds. We'll be right back. Right after this. Today's show is sponsored by Hargrove Demolition, your demolition experts. Hargrove is a family-owned and operated business right here in the southern New Jersey area, bringing you 45 years of demolition expertise. Hargrove has all your demolition needs, from emergency demolition service to demolition equipment rental. Hargrove is one of the state-approved recycling facilities right here in the southern New Jersey area. No job is too big or too small for Hargrove Demolition. Contact them today at one of their 3 locations.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to give a sub some sizzle, this is the way. The way it's always been. The way it always should be. The way it always will be. Because that's just the way it's supposed to be. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
If you haven't been to Speed Raceway, what are you waiting for? You want to live fast? You want to make every second count? Then grab the family. Round up the guys. Speed Raceway is 100,000 square feet of excitement, whether you're a kid or a kid at heart. Speed Raceway is the place for endless fun all summer long. Log on to speedraceway.com or just get here now.
Okay, yeah, well.
Good morning and welcome back. I'm Keith Reynolds, host of Morning Coffee, and I am here with Greg Austin from Benefits Consulting Group. And, right before the break, we were kind of getting to know Greg a little, but, Greg, I really want to kind of dive into what you do and how you help people. I think one of the first things I want to dive in with is, Medicare. It is enrollment time right now.
Open enrollment started October 7th.
October 7th. Okay, so we're kind of really right in the middle of it.
Yes, we are.
And tell us, my biggest thing is, and because I haven't really reached that age yet, but tell us a little bit about some of the myths of Medicare.
Well, first of all, let's look at it from the Benefit Consulting Group point of view. We help businesses. So we have businesses that have maybe as few as 2 employees up to 1,500 employees. The rules are this. If your company has 20 or less employees, your company may not offer benefits to anyone.
Okay.
They don't have to. The rules say they don't have to. Under 50, they don't have to. But for small businesses in Medicare, 20 or less is the rule. So I talked to a company the other day. They pay their employees $1,000 a month and tell them, go get your benefits. Whatever you want to get, go get it. If that company had 50 employees, they would be in trouble right now because that is illegal for a large company to do. If they had 20 or more, because for Medicare it's 20, they would be illegal. What happens is this. You're allowed to pay someone to get benefits if you have a small company, 20 or less for Medicare.
Okay.
If you do pay them to get their Medicare, their supplement, and their Part A and Part B, and you are above that threshold, the fine is somewhere about, I think it's $1,000, $100 a day per employee.
Yikes.
So it can get kind of expensive.
Very expensive.
And a lot of companies don't know the rules. The other thing is this. Medicare works in United States and U.S. territories. So if you have Medicare, you're covered any place in the United States and United States territories if you're in regular Medicare. If you step out of Medicare and get a Med Advantage plan, it's more regional. They have networks.
Right.
It's like almost like an HMO or a PPO. It's going to be in your neighborhood. So if you're the type of person who is thinking, okay, I'm going to retire now, I'm 65, I'm going to be a snowbird, a Med Advantage plan might not work for you because the network is going to be regional. Whereas if you stay in Medicare and get a supplement, those travel throughout the United States and they travel throughout the U.S. territories. Now, here's the fun part. I have talked to people who are, in their mind, emotionally wed to certain companies. Well, the price of a Medicare supplement is going to differ from company to company.
Right.
Just like if you buy a car, like we talked about earlier. If you go to one car dealership and you buy, let's say you want to buy a Ford Focus and it has the X package, that might be $17,000. You travel maybe 10 miles down the road and you get asked for a Ford Focus with the same X package, same color, same appointments and all, and it might be $15,000. Which one would you take?
Obviously, the least expensive one.
Unless your son works for the other company.
Right.
So we have people who are wed to these companies. I had a lady, I said, listen, I can take you to this one company. I'm not going to name the company, but their MedSup is $400 a month. She said, well, I like that company. I said, well, I can take you to this other company and get it to you for $200 a month. She said, but I grew up with this company. I like that company. We're going to advise you.
Right.
We're not going to sell it to you. What we do is we take you to the website. We put you in front of all the companies that are bidding for your business in this area, and we'll help you make an educated decision.
Okay.
The other thing is that a lot of people don't know, and I find this often, that there are penalties with Medicare.
Really?
If you sign up late, for Part B, there's a penalty. The penalty never goes away until you do. If you sign up for Part D, which is your medicine, your medical card, you sign up late for that, there's a penalty. It doesn't go away until you do.
When you say you do, you mean you
Your
you're
demise.
deceased?
Yes.
Or
Yes.
or when you go, yeah. Wow. Really? They
And the
penalize
longer
you
you-
for life.
And the longer you wait, the larger the penalty.
Yeah, but when you say late, what do you mean by when you sign up? Tell me about it.
Well, for Medicare, Part A and Part B, you can sign up 3 months prior, the month of your birthday, and 3 months after. If you wait beyond that 7-month period, you're late.
Okay.
If you are, let's say you work till 67, and you're working for a large company, 20 or more, you can stay on the group plan, and you get a special election period. So you're not late, unless you wait beyond the special election period, which is 63 days.
Gotcha. Now, does everybody have to sign up for Medicare and Medicaid?
You don't have to, but if you choose not to, you can't use it, of course. And when you use it, when you want it the most, when you need it the most, you're going to have an issue.
Yeah, that's-
There are some, I've run across cases where folks are using the ACA, Obamacare, past 65. That's illegal. No one told them.
It's illegal.
Yes.
How is it illegal?
Because the rules of ACA say at 65, you can no longer be on, it is not for folks under 65. You're supposed to go to Medicare.
I don't think anybody knows that. Wow.
So what happens is, now you're 66 years old, you've been on ACA, you've been on Obamacare, you've had they give you a little bit of extra money to pay for it because you can't afford it.
Right.
You decide, okay, I found out that I need to get on Medicare. You're late.
Wow. Wow. So this is something you better be on top of.
On time.
On time, on top of.
Or else.
Or else. Wow. See, now there's some stuff that, honestly, I think a lot of stuff that goes on in our world, it's not people being ignorant. They just don't know.
Well, and that's the thing. So what we do is at Benefit Consulting Group, we'll sit there and I tell people, we'll help you navigate the Medicare maze. It is amazing, but it's still a maze.
Right. insurance industry alone is
Yes.
amazing.
And we'll walk. We're one of the few people out there who will take you by the hand and guide you through. We'll answer your questions. We don't charge anything for our services.
Nice, nice. You know, Greg, we have to. I definitely we're right in the middle of a good conversation, but I do have to pay my bills here, and we're going to be right back with Greg Austin from Benefit Consulting Group right after these messages.
When we make Beyond Natural dry dog and cat foods, we start with real meat as the first ingredient. We leave out corn, wheat, and soy. And we own where our dry food is made. 100%. Can other brands say all that? For nutrition you can trust and your pet will enjoy. Does your food go beyond? Learn more at purinabeyond.com.
Extra Innings is the nation's premier indoor baseball and softball training center, featuring indoor batting cages, 7 multi-use tunnels, and training rooms. Extra Innings can provide professional instruction, private and group lessons, and the best year-round clinics. Along with a nationally recognized pro shop that features the latest and widest selection of equipment and apparel, our experienced staff can provide you with the right instruction and help you find the best equipment for your ability and budget. Extra Innings, where the game never ends.
Today's show has been sponsored by More Than Gifts. Come see our new location in Marlton, New Jersey. Not just gifts, but more.
Well, welcome back. I'm Keith Reynolds, host of Morning Coffee, and I'm here with Greg Austin from Benefit Consulting Group. And Greg, you know, we were talking a little bit during the break, you know, some of this stuff, I mean, people really don't know. I got to be honest with you, I was just asking you, you know, when should people start, you know, trying to find out? When should people come to you and say, hey, Greg, I need to know about this stuff?
We generally tell folks 5-6 months out before your 65th birthday, give us a call. We'll talk to you, let you know what you need to do to prepare to get things started. Once you do that, we'll deal with it from there. But the bottom line is this: if you're with a company that has a high deductible plan right now, that HSA is the key. Your HSA, and I know folks who don't fund their HSA and they think, well, I'm healthy, I don't need it. But the one thing beautiful about an HSA is you can put money in there, tax deferred, and it can be flipped over year to year.
Okay. Now, before you go any further, for people that don't know what a
Health savings account.
health savings account, okay.
So here it is. It's allowing you to save money towards your health care. You can only spend it for health care. If you take it out for anything else, you pay the taxes on it.
Right.
But if you save it for health care, you can use that money for your future. So I know folks who have $15,000 and $16,000 in their HSA, and they don't use it. But once they turn 65, they can take the money out of the HSA and help them pay for their hearing aid, because that's another thing that folks don't know. Medicare does not pay for glasses, dental, or hearing aids.
Really?
Not at all.
Wow.
So an HSA can help you mitigate those costs. You're saving now at 50, 45 years old. You're putting money into your HSA. You're rolling it over. You have this huge pot of money to get prepared, because the numbers say this: once you turn 65, the average American is going to need about $250,000 to $300,000 to pay for all their Medicare medical services between 65 and 85.
Wow. So, you know what, honestly, people should be talking to you a lot earlier than this, because if you're saying that, you know, I need, you know, because, I mean, how much are you putting away in that savings? I mean, so people really should be talking to you in their 30s, because it's something like, hey, you know, I'll see you in 20 years, but at the end of the day, please start doing this, so when I see you in 20 years,
Right.
we're all set.
Well, that's the beauty of Benefit Consulting, because we take all these little things. Most companies are doing this. We're advising you for your future. So we would say, if you have some disposable income and you're young and you don't have an HSA, you can set one up. The other thing you can do is a life insurance policy. You can put money into the policy. Guess what? It's tax-free. Nobody taxes an insurance policy. You're putting money into a whole life policy, and when the time comes, let's say you're 65, hey, I'm still here.
Right.
I'm still here. All right. I don't want, and my mortgage is paid off. My kids are grown. I don't need to leave them an inheritance because I've already taken care of them. They have their own houses. But now I want to be able to mitigate my expenses. You can take money from the life insurance policy and use it as an annuity.
Very cool.
So for our company, I take care of the med subs and I take care of the life insurance.
Okay.
I have a few small groups I deal with, but for the most part, that's my responsibility. Our owner, Bill Waymeyer, he is the group guy, and he is well versed. He's been doing this
He's the
since.
guru.
He is the man.
Okay.
He's been doing this since 1980. He has other brokers who call him and ask him questions. We have HR departments who call and ask us questions about Medicare and about group insurance, because we've been doing this so long, and we study, we read, we actually. This is not just fun for us. It's not just a business for us, but it's our life.
Right.
And the last thing I want you to do is come to me and then walk away and say, wow, I wish I hadn't seen him. And then go down the street and see somebody else and they'll say, those guys don't know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. Because guess what? What did I tell you in the beginning? I love people.
Right.
So even if I can't help you right now, I want to help you the best I can. Because I care about you as a person. I worked 10 years in special ed. There was a reason for that. I coached high school football and high school track as a volunteer for 5 years until I finally got a paid position. Not that I was looking for a paid position, but because I like people. I wanted to help these kids.
Right.
I had seen some things. We didn't talk about it, but I was in the military. I was in the Army and the Coast Guard. I like people. I learned a lot from being around the world in the military. I felt I had something to pass on to these kids. So I did. Did it cost me? Well, I don't know if you've ever coached high school football. It's a very large commitment.
Yes, it is.
You're there all day long, all night long. Same thing with indoor track. Indoor track starts at 7 o'clock in the morning sometimes. You may not get home till 11 o'clock that night on a Saturday. But I love people.
It's all about commitment.
I want to help you.
It's all about people.
Right.
I agree. So now, what is your niche customer?
My niche customer is a person who is aging in Medicare and is not sure what to do. Again, I have a bunch of companies that come to me, and when they have a Medicare question, because sometimes HR departments don't understand it, believe it or not.
No, it's big.
One of my favorite stories, I tell this all the time when I do a presentation. I have a friend who turned 65. His HR department, he's a doctor. His HR department has 20,000 employees, and they misled him because they didn't understand the rules of Medicare. He said, I wish you had talked to me about this 5 years ago. They steered me wrong, and it's been costing me dearly ever since. Now, let's put this in perspective. This man is a doctor. If he says it cost him dearly ever since, what is the average person who's not a doctor, who manages a McDonald's or who works at a coffee shop? What
crushes them?
Exactly. Because again, those penalties don't go away.
Right.
And the longer you wait, the more they are.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. There's just so much, HR departments. I always believe that, one of the big problems with society is we try to eliminate other jobs. Mm-hmm. You know what? People are in business. Stay in your lane, and if this company did and bought like people like you in, the doctor wouldn't have an issue right now.
Well, I was just last week. I don't know if you saw on LinkedIn. I was at the city of Wildwood. Mm-hmm. doing a presentation for their benefit fair. And we have folks who will call us in to do benefits fairs. We've done Arcadia University. We've done different universities around here. Different businesses will call us in. We'll do a free seminar for them, explaining the rules. And again, there are some companies that we deal with that have never had us do a seminar, but they just send their employees to us. You have a Medicare question? Call these guys. They'll take care of it for you.
Nice. So listen, as usual on Morning Coffee, it goes so quick. Where can our viewers, can you give your information on it?
I can give out, you can look at Benefit Consulting Group, and that would be www.bcgplans. That's Bravo. Bravo for benefits, C, Charlie for consulting group, and G, Golf Benefit Consulting Group. So it's bcgplans.com, or you can call me at 888-363-5870, and I'm extension 120. We'll talk to you about Medicare. We'll talk to you about health benefits. We'll talk to you about life insurance. We'll help you set up a plan. And in the end, we're advisors.
Okay.
We like helping people. I met Bill through church, the guy who owns the company. We go to the same church. So we're not trying to hurt anybody. And the beautiful thing about Benefit Consulting Group is he's been in business since 1980. He has a good part of his business that's been with him for over 20 years. Usually, industry average is 3 years with a broker. So when you have a large book of your business that's been with you for over 20 years,
That says something.
and we have businesses that we've written from Boston to North Carolina have come to
Nice.
us. We have a few businesses in Ohio, but we basically focus in the Middle Eastern states. But we've had folks come with us. We have a company in New York that has 1,100 employees, and we've had them on the books for 23 years.
Wow.
They've
Wow.
grown with us.
That's nice. That's what you want.
In the end, we consider ourselves a boutique company. You're not going to call like one of the major companies. I don't want to name anybody's name, but you'll call one person. They have one person that sells you, then another person who handles your case, and then you have problems. You don't know who to call. If you come to us, you talk to me, I'll deal with your situation. If I can't fix it, I'll find the answer. You won't hear me passing you off to someone else.
Right.
You won't have to worry about being in a queue for 25 minutes waiting for me to pick up the phone. My office phone goes to my cell phone. I'm available.
Nice. It's a nice touch. Well, we're going to have to move on to our next guest coming up. Greg, I want to thank you so much for coming on the
Thank
Morning
you.
Coffee. Make sure you guys, you listeners out there, make sure you get Greg's information, or make sure you jotted that down. Why don't you say it real quick one more time?
www.bcgplans.com. Our phone number is 888-363-5870, and I'm extension 120.
All right. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to be right back after this.
Sub some sizzle. This is the way. The way it's always been. The way it always should be. The way it always will be. Because that's just the way it's supposed to be. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Simply Gents, located in Marlton, New Jersey, takes care of all your grooming needs, including haircuts, straight razor shaves, massages, facial, manicures, pedicures, and waxing. To find more information or book an appointment, visit us online at www.simplygents.com. The secret weapon of a well-groomed man, Simply Gents.
If you haven't been to Speed Raceway, what are you waiting for? You want to live fast? You want to make every second count?